Hi guys, welcome back to the 30-day happiness experience. I really hope that you're having a great time implementing all the tools that you're learning through this process. Today with me I have Kitara Wilson. She is a wife, homeschooling mom, online health and fitness coach, and a certified life coach. She is passionate about helping women who let themselves go after motherhood learn how to go from feeling frumpy to fabulous through self-love. If when she isn't hanging out with her family or empowering other moms, she can be found devouring personal development and business books and courses. In 2006, Katara and her husband entered the couples category in the contest Body for Life. They had entered quite a few times before, but this one time was different. They stuck to it and won. Welcome, Katara.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I really appreciate you having me here. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I want to jump into picking your brain about movement and how it affects our overall health, happiness and overall well being. So, I have a few questions for you. And my first question, which I love to ask everybody, is what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness means to me, thanks so much for asking. It means joy to me. It means whatever makes you feel good, whatever resonates with you and just gives you that really feel good feeling inside that's genuine and something that almost feels tangible, like it just feels so good you feel like you could just reach out and touch it. It's just bubbling inside of you. And I think that it's just joy, and that joy I think be linked to love, whatever that is. If we think about like a baby, and think about, like, I've seen commercials and videos, and my daughter, when she was little, she had this very hearty laugh. Oh, how adorable.
And
How
she brings in the monster box and she is grinning from ear to ear. Mommy, look what I got. I'm so happy.
that is, she's adorable. Those eyes are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
so I think about, and she probably has it too. When my daughter was a baby, she had this really infectious, hearty laugh that just, you could tell it just welled up from inside of her, and then you couldn't help but just laugh with her. You couldn't help but catch on and just be so overjoyed by that laugh. I mean, it's a joyous feeling. It feels good. And I just think about, as women, as moms, as friends, a lot of times we are busy trying to please other people. And so see someone's husband loves to golf, and he absolutely loves it, and he wants you to go with him, and you don't like golf, but you're like, oh, I love him, and I love it because I want to make him happy, and he loves it, so I go along. But inside, you're just like, oh, this isn't my thing. I'm not happy with it. Um, you know the difference between something that makes you happy and something that doesn't. And, standing out on the golf course all day, just hitting balls with a metal stick just isn't your thing. You know that doesn't make you happy, but maybe sitting in your garden and planting flowers or vegetables and just really getting your hands in the dirt is something that makes you happy. So you have to find whatever that joy is for you.
It's beautiful, and I love the baby laughter because it's like you said, baby laugh is like contagious. It is, and having her, we love to make her laugh, so we do things to make her laugh all the time.
Right, and that it brings you absolute joy, and she's happy, and it just makes you just giddy to just hear her and see that laugh. And I mean, I love watching other baby videos. My kids are bigger now, but I just love watching videos of babies laugh because it just feels so good.
They are such in a state of pure positive energy, and I think that's why everybody just like flocks to babies, because they're just in this vibrant state of happiness and joy.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I know that your area of expertise is body and movement, and I really wanted to ask you, how does movement improve the way that we feel?
I'm going to approach it first from a fitness standpoint. So for a lot of people who they're in that place like I once was, where they're like, I know I need to get in shape, I know I need to lose some weight, but sometimes the thought of exercise and getting on a treadmill or going outside and running, or sitting on a bike, whatever it is, it's just a dreadful thought. It just does not feel good. And I think that's why a lot of people get turned off. They know that that movement is good for them, but there's something in it that doesn't connect. It feels like work. It feels like a chore. And I know for me, I love music. I love to dance. And back then, I would much prefer to have been in a dance class. But when we went through that challenge, I got a lot of my results from jogging. I put my daughter in her jogging stroller and we'd go jog. But what did it for me was I had my music. I could not have, and I've seen people just out jogging without their music, and to me that would just drive me bonkers. I had to have something so that I could sing, so that I could get into it, lose myself in the music, and the movement wasn't so bad because I had the music that was preoccupying me from the chore of what I really didn't want to do. And now, I've always loved music. I've always loved to dance. I dance around the house. I take dance classes when I can. I do dance DVDs. I just love it. So for me, I feel like if you know that there's something that feels good for you, it's only going to make whatever you're doing even better. So if you love to run, like my husband is one of those people who loves to run. He feels good running. He can lose himself in a zone and it just feels good to him. I don't love running. I'll do it if I kind of feel like it every now and again, but it's not my favorite. And the opposite is for him. He could do without the dancing. He's like, that's your lane. You stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. I know that it just, find what works for you. I think even for people that if they're like, well, I don't like to run, I don't like to dance, I don't like to do this, find something that will make it enjoyable for you. And if there's a certain type of music that you like, lose yourself in that so that the movement part isn't so bad, because we do need the movement. And we get so caught up as moms taking care of our families that we neglect taking care of ourselves. And we want to be around for our families. We want to be able to chase after our kids and have fun, and we want to set good examples for them. And if that means that we need to, get out there and show them that exercise is good and that exercise can actually be fun, then we can set that example for them. But we have to first figure out how to make it fun and enjoyable ourselves so that we don't send the message that it's a chore, it's always work, I hate it, because they're just going to get that message and say, oh, well, why on earth would I want to do that? My mom hates it, my dad hates it, so I'm not going to do it. We want to send the opposite message, but we first have to find what works for us. And I have found that dancing, for me, it just puts me in a place where I feel like I'm hot, I'm sexy, I'm having a good time. I feel like I can pretend that I am on stage and in a music video or whatever. I can completely lose myself and it just feels good, and I'm burning calories to boot, so it works.
I actually love to dance too. We've talked about this. One of the music coaches on here, we talked about dancing, and I love to dance. Like, I use music and dance party as a way to lift my energy. So I know when I'm in a low state of vibration, I'll put music on and I'll just keep going song after song, and then before I know it, I'm dancing and I'm sweating and I'm moving my body and it feels really good. And as you're
Right.
talking, I mean, there might be some people that are impaired that can't actually physically get up and dance, but you can get dance in your seat and you can use your hands and you can still participate.
Mm.
But what I was thinking while you were talking was, and I cannot remember where I heard this from, but it's a matter of perception. They did this study with maids, and they told the maids that so there was a group of maids, one group of maids that they just let them continue to do the work that they were doing. And then the second group,
Mhm.
they told them that, do you know that the activity that you're doing a day is enough activity for your daily requirement? And just that little mind shift of the maids thinking of their activity in that way actually helped them to lose weight. It was just the shift in mind. So maybe you're already doing something in your life that you're not looking at it like exercise, like when you're cleaning the house, because it's burning energy. And when you put music on and you start to clean, then you feel like invigorated to do more. I know I do.
Right, right. It just, it feels good. And for us, if we know, it's like when I tell my kids, okay, it's cleaning day, like I literally will just pump up the music, and they don't necessarily want to listen to what I'm listening to, which is fine, but they'll go ahead and put on, their headphones or whatever. But everybody is in their own musical zone to help them get finished with what they have to do. So I think music is so is so powerful in so many ways. It moves people, it brings people together, it elicits feelings of joy. It could also elicit feelings of sadness, but we're talking about what makes you happy. And I think it when go back to the question of how you define happiness, and we're talking about movement and making you happy. I just think of a couple of stories come to mind. Once when I was working in Silicon Valley, I met a woman who, at the time, she was in her 50s, and she was competitive ice skating. And she had said she used to skate as a child, and somehow, life happened, money, I don't know. But as she got older, she thought about, I really used to love ice skating and I haven't done it in years. Why don't I go ahead and just take some adult ice skating classes? And she got back into it, realized how much she had missed it, how much she loved it, to the point where she was competing. And she probably was not doing it to lose weight. She was in amazing shape. She just loved it. And then another example is just last year, a friend from high school, she had just recently gone through chemotherapy treatment, came out successfully, and then decided, you know what, I want to tap dance. And so she's in adult tap dancing classes, and she posts about it on Facebook all the time, and she's really happy and excited about it. So I think it's find whatever works for you. And if you have to kind of dig back in the memory drawers of your mind to think about, what did I love as a kid or as a teenager? Those could be things that elicit joy for you. It might be that as a kid you used to love to do double dutch. I know there are double dutch teams. I know there are adult double dutch teams. You just never know what that could be, but find what brings up that feeling of joy for you.
It's so, as you're talking, stories are coming up to my mind too. Do you remember, like, was it 3 years ago, Kirstie Alley was called to do Dancing with the Stars, and she lost all that weight because she loved to dance, and she wasn't thinking about
I,
losing the weight; she was thinking about the dancing.
I didn't realize that she had done that, but that's the perfect example. Yes, is that you get so lost in something because you love it so much and because it makes you happy. You're not even focused on the other part. You're more in touch with, I'm doing this because it makes me feel good. That's why I'm doing this. And then you happen to look up and your pants too loose, and you're like, hey, that's an added bonus. So it's about making yourself feel good. I think that's so important.
So, what would you tell everybody that's listening right now how to just get started? Like, because I know that we just get in that like rut of like, I don't know what to do.
I think this is kind of where I learned from my own personal experience that it has to start with a firm decision for you. You can have your mom, your sister, your best friend, your husband, your coworkers all telling you how great something is or pushing you to do a certain thing. Until you are firmly ready in your mind, it's not going to make a bit of difference what everybody else says. So, and that's why when you mentioned in my bio, we had entered the Body for Life Challenge many, many times before. And yes, we have, and we have the hideous before pictures to prove it, but we don't have the after pictures from all of those other attempts. And it just was because we weren't ready. We hadn't really made a firm decision. And for us, it was, yes, we need to lose weight, but yeah, we still like our pizza, and yeah, we still like to have big fat Saturday morning breakfast. So it was.
Oh my God, do you know me? You're tapping right into my life.
So we were not ready to give those things up. We weren't at a place where enough had become enough, quite honestly. And for me, it was, I got to a place after having my daughter and nothing looked good, nothing felt good. I didn't think anything fit right. And it was finally one day after trying on 3 outfits, none of them looked good. And I just stomped downstairs and was like, I'm doing the challenge. And, within a few seconds, he was like, okay, I'll do it with you. And for whatever reason, it was that time that was like, I'm going through with this because I'm tired of what I just experienced. I can't keep doing that. And it was a decision. I had to decision. You have to get to that place because you can tell your friend, oh yeah, I'll join the boot camp class with you. And you'll go to boot camp class with her and you guys chat it up and have fun, hardly do the exercises. And then you go out for buffalo wings and beer after boot camp. And it's like, okay, how serious are you? So you have to know, you have to be ready. So I think the very first tool, the most important tool from start to finish is going to be your mindset. I think that's people have to get clear with that first. Because even my husband says that on his job, people come to him all the time and ask him, okay, what do I need to do this? What do I need to do that? And he'll ask them flat out, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. So he'll just give them just a few nuggets. And then a week later, every day he sees them, Taco Bell, Burger King, Pizza Hut, whatever it is every day for lunch. And he's like, so I thought you were ready. Oh, I'm gonna do it. And there's no judgment there, but it just, you have to come to that place where you say a firm yes. So I think mindset from start to finish is key. And then once you kind of know that you're ready, I think affirmations makes a world of difference because you have to do something different than what you've always done up to that point. And for me, they were very simple affirmations, but it was something that I used over and over and over. And it was gratitude and an affirmation all rolled into one. And it was just, thank you that we're Body for Life champions. It wasn't about winning. For me, it was about finishing for the first time. And in my mind, we would have been champions because we finally finished. Those 12 weeks were going to come and go no matter what. So we might as well get through it and say we actually did it. So that was my affirmation over and over and over during those 12 weeks was just, thank you, we are Body for Life champions. Thank you, we are Body for Life champions. And it made me feel good. It gave me that sense of can't quit on myself and I can't quit on my husband because I'm being accountable to him as well because we said we'd do it together. So that kept me going as well. So, and that still is a part of mindset because when you're saying affirmations, you're reprogramming your mind to think and behave differently than what it has before. So I really think that is the number one tool. Everything else are just accessories to the process, but your mindset is the tool that you need.
Well, as a mindset coach, I completely believe in what you're saying because I've tried the let me sit on the couch and eat all the ice cream diet, and that didn't work. So I knew that I needed to make a decision, and I started with my mind first. And when I got to the place where I was ready, I felt ready, but it does come from within. So as people are starting this journey and they're ready to be better in their health and their fitness, being easy with themselves. I heard you say, be easy with yourself until until you're ready. And as you're doing
Right.
that, just keep giving yourself positive affirmations of change and picking something that you enjoy.
Yeah, I would say, of course, if you've got your doctor telling you you need to change like today, like yesterday, you if your doctor is telling you that, if you are up against a health challenge where you losing the weight is going to help lower your blood pressure, keep you out of tipping the scale into diabetic, or whatever the case may be, then yeah, you have to kind of really do a hardcore dive in. But if you're not quite at that place, like I said, we don't pass judgment on anyone who isn't ready, because we were there too. We just weren't ready. We weren't ready to live a different type of lifestyle, and we get that. We understand that. And when people are ready, they know that they're ready. And I've had people who've come to me who before they weren't ready, but then when they come to me and they're like, okay, Kitara, I'm really ready. And they move forward and they make progress, because as many of us already know, when you try to do something and you haven't made up your mind that you're going to do it, you end up failing at it. And then you beat yourself up about it because you feel like you should. And I tell my kids, we don't use the word should, because then it makes it wrong. You set yourself up to be wrong because you should be doing this. And we get mad at ourselves and feel like, well, we should have finished and we should have done this and we should have done that, when we don't give ourselves enough ease and grace to say, it's okay, I just wasn't ready. And when I'm ready, I will be. And if there is something serious going on that I need to be ready a little bit sooner, I have to trust myself that I will intuitively know that, and I'll take care of it. So I think we do definitely have to give ourselves some grace, because we are notorious for beating ourselves up unnecessarily.
Yes, I agree completely. I've been down that road many, 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 many times. And surprisingly, I was a lot thinner as I was younger, by like 60 pounds thinner, and I was not happy. I beat my body up. I didn't appreciate the body that I was in. And it took me to get to this point where I'm 60 pounds heavier and actually appreciate who I am from the inside,
Right.
and not like beating myself up. Now I can be the new version of myself, but holding love for myself and who I am.
Right.
So that leads me into my last. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would say that makes all the difference in the world, because it's coming from the inside. It's not external influences of you believing how you again should be, or what you think an ideal is supposed to look like. You coming from the inside, I love myself exactly where I am right now. It doesn't mean that if you want to shed those 60 pounds that you don't love yourself where you are right now. You just know that I'm always working to improve. And if losing those 60 pounds, or even if I lose more, even if I lose less than 60, it's still improving me, and I still am going to love myself when I get to that point, wherever that is. Or if I never get to that, I still love myself just the way I am. It makes a huge difference, because then you're not forever chasing something that's not going to mean anything to you anyway.
Yeah. I so wish I had my before my weight gain pictures, because I look like a totally different person. And Physically, that's what I would like to look like now, but emotionally and spiritually, I was not there. I definitely
Right.
was a completely different person. So, for those people that are listening now, um, going within and connecting, yes, you want to be a different version of yourself, but you also want to feel the wholeness and the connection from within and be happy from
Right.
within, and then allow that to be who you are. And then that weight is just a non-issue. It's not something that you're focused on.
Right.
So tell me how using all these tools and techniques that you've learned has actually improved your life.
Now, I have been able to just apply that same attitude to anything. Understand that making a decision is important. Understand that getting your mind in the game, whatever it is, whether it's getting in the game of parenting, which is a huge game, or you know, start running a home-based business, whatever it is, your mindset has to be there. It has to be right. And so I do a lot of reading, like in the bio. I love personal development because I really am about making myself better, being a better version of myself, setting a good example for my kids, um, so that they understand how to always strive to be the best that they can be, to be compassionate, to be kind. All of those things, they just matter to me, and I want them to matter to my children too, because my job as a parent, I've got to send these people out into the world to be members of society. I feel so fortunate that even though I didn't have these tools growing up, and it's no fault of my mom, it's just it wasn't as prevalent back then, and it just wasn't where she was in terms of knowing this stuff. But I feel like I can pass this on to my kids so that when they get to be in their 40s, they're just not now figuring this stuff out. This is things that, mom taught us this along. And so I just feel like those things have helped me immensely in my marriage. Just learning to think before I react, and learning to respond actually instead of react, which takes some thought, which takes patience, which takes getting your mind right. You have to learn sometimes to walk away before you can have a conversation that could really go south if you don't walk away first and think. The same goes for parenting my kids, especially, I have a teenager and a tween. So those are, some interesting years where a lot of people have tumultuous relationships. And I work on that constantly. Same in business. Now that one for me has been challenging just because I have tried different things, and even though they may not have worked out, I have to remember not to beat myself up about it, that those were just stepping stones to get me to where I'm supposed to be in my purpose. So I apply that to everything. I really feel like my mind is the key to everything, even, with your health, whatever, if you're faced with a health challenge, where your attention goes, it grows, whatever that is. So I feel like if I put my attention on health instead of putting my attention on illness, then I can experience better health instead of a mudslide of illnesses. So I just apply that to everything, and and all of that ties in for me with my spirituality. Just having a connection to know that there's a power greater than myself, and if I can stay tapped into that, and use that as my source, then I'm okay.
This has been beautiful, Kitara. I love everything that you've shared with us and how we can get our bodies in motion to create more happiness in our overall state of being. You can find more information about Kitara on the link below. And thank you so much for being here with us and sharing all your information and wisdom.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I do so appreciate it. And I had a great time sharing with you and your audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.